Hey everybody, welcome back to Rogue 16. Today we are doing a pretty cool spotlight on another Regal piece. This one's huge. This one's
Literally and figuratively.
figuratively, it's massive. It's the Ephant Mon Maquette, and it is impressive. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this one. I'll say this out from the get go. I'm not getting this one, just because I don't do a lot of maquettes, and this one's also pretty large. I don't think I can. I don't think I have a place for this, but it is cool looking, and I do love. I think I've said it. I said it on our live. I love the mixed media. I love the hair.
Yeah, this thing stands at a whopping 13.25 inches tall. Guys, that's over a foot tall. I mean, this guy's big. He's big.
Well, I mean, considering the other maquettes, he's big.
Well,
You
you
put
look
this.
at the Rancor. He's only
Yeah,
16 inches. So this
yeah.
guy's like two and a half, 3 inches under the Rancor.
Right.
Think about
I mean, considering some of the other pieces some people might have in their collection, he's not like unbelievably large, right? But that said,
yeah, compared to like a premium format or something.
right,
Yeah.
compared to your other maquettes, this thing is large. It's huge. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's not a small piece to find a place for. Not to mention, let's say you were able to get the legacy edition, which so the legacy edition's 45 pieces, right?
Correct. Yep.
The signature edition is what,
83.
83.
Yes.
So, yeah, for 45 pieces is going to go like that. It's just going to be gone.
Yeah.
If you want one of those, you got to get it quick. If you do get the legacy edition, you got to find a place for not only this guy, but the plaque next to it. Again, I've said it, said it so many times. The plaques are part of this collectible that you've got to find a place to either you've got to put it away or like you said, I think we talked about on the live that there's some people that actually take these plaques and display them together.
Yes.
Just the
So they're
plaque
getting creative where
in
the
the
plaque,
pictures.
the artwork, because it's art, right? It's a
That's
unique
art.
work of art.
Mhm.
They're displaying the artworks as a collection of
As a
art.
collection, which is awesome.
Yeah. And with the signature plaque being separate from the display of the maquette, it doesn't hurt it with the art because
No.
as if it's a signed art, right?
Yeah,
Piece of art.
totally.
And you're
I
getting two in the same.
Yeah, I love it. I love the idea of doing that and even using wall space to do that because, why not? Like you can find wall space to do it.
It's another collection in and
Yeah,
of itself.
it's pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, if you're actually displaying these things together, you do have to have a lot of space to do that for a lot of the maquettes that they have available. I get what they're doing here. I get the maquette line. I get everything. It's not my completely my bag for the whole thing, but I hope it continues to be very successful because
Yeah, but the fun part is when it is your bag, like it's your
yeah, no, like Yism was awesome. I was super pumped for Yism, and there will be more. I'm sure there will be more that I'm pumped for, but it's few and far between that I'll jump on. But I really want them to be successful because I want Regal Robot to be successful, and I want Tom to be successful. I think what he does and what Regal Robot does is fantastic, and so I really want people to buy their stuff and to continue to. And so I love that they have these two editions or two different versions. The legacy edition, what is the cost of that one? Because they're also not super cheap either.
Yeah, so exclusive of shipping, just the price outright for the maquette is 1,199 for the
Okay,
legacy.
so 1,200,
Yeah, and 899 for the signature.
900. Okay,
Yep.
which eh, I think when we were talking about this on our live for our live on Saturday, I mentioned that these are really expensive, and I started to think about it after that, and the more we talked about it, the more I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. Like
No,
it sounds expensive and it feels expensive, but at the same time, it's not that bad. Only because like
you're getting a lot of bang for your buck here.
you are getting a decent amount for. I mean, especially when you think about it. What was Yism? Do you remember what we
One
said?
was
Was that
799.
was
I
it
don't
for the legacy? I mean,
I don't remember. Yeah.
I think the non-legacy was like 500. I want to say it was like
Yeah,
around.
he was pretty affordable
It
considering,
wasn't too bad.
especially with the size, and because he wasn't small either. So
Right.
the size and the detail, and I know
But
we're kind of
that's not even close to the size of this guy. Like this guy's huge.
correct.
So
Yeah.
that's why I think the price is actually pretty good for this one. Um considering. And I mean it's a really large piece, and it's I think something that a lot of the Maquette collecting you know well, just collectors in general, you've all been really excited about this, right? I mean, this is kind of a
Yeah, this
big
has
one.
been one of those, like, when they put up the "What would you like to see next?"
Yeah,
How many people would like to see this character? He's definitely come up more than once,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and, the great thing is too, not that I don't think we need to mention this, but it goes without saying that, again, these aren't coming off a factory line. These are all being done by hand. So when you see this extra
Yep,
detail, right? When you have a maquette that has mixed media, and you look at the hair, you look at the detail in the paint, and then you look at his cloak. This cloak
mhm.
isn't just draped on him. It's stitched in layers of parts, and you see the little sew lines and, like, I mean, that's amazing, and
Yeah, it's really nice.
that's being added on, the hair's being added on, the painted details being added on, it's
Well, like
being
you said, it's got stitching too. It's got, like, actual
yeah,
stitching
and it's
in
being
there.
affixed in such a way to, mimic how it sits in the archives.
Yeah, it's
So,
really cool.
like, you're getting that artisanal touch, if you will, sort of that, like, boutique feel, sort of custom handmade feel, which that's
Right.
another thing that adds to the overall appeal of these. It just they're just great display pieces, whether they're 300, 700, 1,300. I mean, they're just great. I mean,
It's
I
almost
don't know.
like it's more than a statue.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's history.
Yeah, yeah, it's just got that vibe. And I look, this isn't our first review. This is our
Jeez,
15th,
I'm sorry.
you know,
The only reason I'm saying the only reason I'm saying that's because it's because
well,
it's I'm ripping it straight from the picture here. Holy shit, dude.
I didn't even
Tom
notice
really
that.
Tom really went for it, dude. I freaking love it, dude. It did the whole archive, the
But
whole
it's so
arch it's true.
in
It's true.
fairness,
Listen, it's true.
when
It's
we
just
remember we talked about, like, when they first started, and
oh,
it was just like the
yeah.
tauntaun,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
there was so much consumer education that had to be done.
Yeah,
What's lineage? Why the pricing? What is this? Why does it look this way? Why does it feel this way? Now these things sell themselves. Like, they're gone. By
so
noontime
for
on
sure.
Tuesday, by 12:05, this legacy edition, if you're not
Oh, it's
F5
gone.
and you're signed in, yeah,
It's gone.
get signed in, cart something, whatever it is,
100%.
get ready,
100%.
rock and roll. But we used to say, I kid you not, like, quote unquote, like, hey, Tom's literally bringing the archive into
Yeah.
your collection.
But and it's honestly, it's too easy. Like, this is one of those lines where I feel like it sells itself, and I just don't think Tom and those guys like I know they still have some of these sitting up on their website that aren't sold. I get it. So it's not like it's like these are flying off the shelf and just sold out in a minute for everything. I get that. But I do think this is like one of the easiest lines of collectibles to sell to,
Yeah,
crack addicts, because it's you have these pictures like this one, right? You have pictures like this one where you see the piece in like the archival form, let's say, with all these other things, and you're getting that exact thing, and they reproduce it so faithfully. Like Regal
yeah,
Robot does such a great job that you're essentially getting the exact same piece,
you
and
get yeah.
it's incredible.
And what's great about that too is you're
It's
looking
too
at the
easy.
image and you're realizing that, hey, this piece is available. This piece is available.
Yeah,
So you're not just limiting yourself to, like, wow, how cool would it be if,
right.
or
He's
wouldn't
gonna
that
make
be
everything.
awesome if? Like, no, you
Yeah,
get to have your cake and you get to eat it too.
he's gonna make everything.
That's yeah. I mean, that's a collector's dream right there.
It is, and as yeah, as we all have this disease of collecting, we're all thinking about, like, anytime there's something like this where there's multiples of something that we can put together, right? We know that's coming, and we know there's more coming. It's like yeah, it's like a straight, IV to the arm of just drugs. Like it's bad because it's exactly what a collector wants,
And then it's just a fun ride because the ones that haven't been released yet, you know that they're more than likely going to be
yeah,
released.
no,
Now that's
100%.
not a that's
Well,
just
we were talking on Saturday, half, like, most of these haven't been released.
Yeah, the ones
Like
we see here have, yeah,
like
just a
a
couple.
lot of these have not been released. It's just crazy, dude. Like every picture I feel like I see of the archives is more and more stuff that I'm like, wow, they have
You know
so many
what?
more pieces to make.
What else is great about the maquettes? I know we mentioned this a few times, but not too much. And this is less about the spotlight and more from like a collector's perspective,
Sure.
is that it's brought some people out of hiding, so to speak.
Mm.
And we've gotten signatures and artwork from people that we would have never like
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah,
we've
for
gotten
sure.
Nilo, we've gotten Ken Ralston, we've got I
Mhm.
mean,
Mhm.
that's
Well,
amazing.
and
And that is to
and
name a few.
and what's interesting, Jason, is some people will go for pieces because of the person that signed it. Even
Yeah.
though they weren't really thinking they don't really care too much about the maquette, it's more about the person that signed it than
Yeah.
anything else.
And having
Um,
that extra level of accessibility to something that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get, I
mhm.
mean, that's I
I
mean,
think I
playing
talked
cards,
to I
that's
think we were
fantastic.
talking I think we were talking to was it Tony, I think, that was saying it
Yes.
was interesting 'cause, talking about the Yuzum piece, and the first thing he mentioned was that Nilo, the Nilo signature. And, for me, that's like, I don't really
Yeah,
care.
it's not
Like, it doesn't really I just don't really care. So, like, it's is it cool to have a signature? Sure. But at the end of the day, like, that's not the big thing for me. For him, that's probably a little bit even possibly a little bit bigger than the maquette itself.
yeah, and some of these pieces work well as, standalones. 'Cause I
Yeah.
know we talk to enough collectors both directly and indirectly behind the scenes, and everybody has their quirky way of collecting, right? Everybody's like, "Hey, you gotta get
Mhm.
them all." Other
Yeah,
people are like, "If it has that nostalgia and it hits me, I get it. If it was a Kenner figure and it's the version of the maquette, I get it." So everybody has their way of doing it, and what I like is some people just get every single one, regardless of who's signing, if it's
sure.
artwork, whatever, they're getting it. Others are getting specifics, and what's great about that is for the few people like yourself who gets that one piece here, that one piece there, it's still great because you don't need the entire set. I
Mm.
mean, don't get me wrong, whenever I see a picture posted in the Regal Robot Facebook group, it's amazing to see, all of them on display. They look beautiful
Yeah, yeah,
together
yeah.
and couple each other great, but I like the fact that you can have that standalone piece.
Yeah, yeah.
It still displays beautifully, still a conversation starter,
Yeah,
still unique, and then the biggest thing, at least for me, at the end of the day, I love that it all turns back like, even though we saw these guys on screen, I still love that it's the conceptual part. So I get to wet my
sure,
beak on both ends where it's
sure.
like, you're getting the concept part of it, the concept art, but you're also getting, you know, sort
Yeah.
of, the finalized piece, if you will.
And see, that's where you and I differ a little bit. I don't care about the concept part of it.
Correct.
Like I'm not, it's not my uh
And that's not always a bad thing to hear. It's good to get sometimes people watch these and I'll get comments and like, oh, Matt said this or this person. It's like, look, this is reality. There's thousands of us out there, collectors,
right.
and we all have different feels and different vibes and different things that we go after, and we all curate differently and buy differently, and not everything is going to be for everybody. But that's what makes these so unique and so interesting,
Yeah,
because eventually everybody will find something that they enjoy and like. Now, unfortunate for most collectors, 9 out of 10 people like them and want them, so it makes it more
of course.
difficult to
Yeah,
to, to, to acquire.
yeah, of
But
course.
you know, the good thing, as you mentioned earlier, is that the more successful these are, the longer they're going to continue. And, the fact that these things fly off the shelf pretty quickly, with the exception of a few that are still available, it's just going to allow you to continue getting more unique pieces after that. And I think, too, as they start tapping into figures that we're not so familiar with, we know them by image or we know them by, watching documentaries or
Mhm.
seeing them in the book. That allows people to research a little bit more like, "Oh, that's who that is," or, "Oh, I
Sure.
I know that guy from Jabba's Palace," and again, that research is just as much fun as the collecting,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
for me, there's certain maquettes that I just tend to draw my eye a little bit more, and it's really the ones that have a little bit of hair, like fur or hair, or
Yeah.
the soft goods on them. This like something more to it is kind of what I don't know. I just like those pieces a little bit more. Yeah,
I have a
this one's
weird thing towards
this
the
one's sick.
unfinished look. I don't know why.
No, yeah, and that's
When
what's
something looks
look.
when something looks unfinished, I
I get
I
it. I get it. I
yeah,
mean, look at all these. Like there's a lot here that look like you want the very concepty beginnings of a character look, right? That's the beginnings of these characters, and like they got shifted and molded and changed and before they put on screen, before putting them on screen. And so and I totally get that. That's not what I like. I don't like the melted Play-Doh look of some of these things. It just doesn't do it for me. Like I want
see,
something that's more
that's what
finished.
gets me. It
Totally.
it's
And
it's it's
that's
polar opposites because, like, for me, it's a 100, like
but I
yeah.
would I would argue, Jason, that more people are on your side than my side. A lot more that collect these things. That's what they're collecting them for, right? They're collecting for the concept part of it. And I think that's what the line really is tailored to, right? You should
Yeah,
I think that's
'cause
what's best.
the thing too is if these were refined and more finished versions, and
Mhm.
you wouldn't have the archive vibe
No,
or feel to.
they're making them exactly how they are supposed to be.
Yes,
Exactly what they look like. They
correct.
are what's great about Regal Robot is they're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes and make something better than it was made or whatever, right? Like, oops, they made, they had this stitching on the back of this Ephant Mon. Let's get rid of that and just make it something
Oh, yeah,
different.
they're
Like,
not
they're
going in
not
and
doing
revising.
any
Yeah,
they're not
if something
revising it.
was
It's
crooked,
exact
if it was
right.
painted poorly, they're mimicking that, yeah.
Right. It's exactly as it is. And that's the cool part about this, I think, for a lot of collectors is you're getting exactly what is in that archive. To
With
exactly.
with you saying that, I find it could be a little frustrating for the team at times, but I think there's some enjoyment when people are like, "Hey, I received my, Nyan Num, and it's got these little lines here. Are these supposed to be
Sure.
there?" And I looked at the picture, and it's like, that's the best part. You're discovering
Yeah.
things
But
that you otherwise wouldn't know.
that's a education thing, right? Like once people start to understand what the product is and what they're getting, it makes it even better, I think, right? So, and I mean, this picture says it all. Like, you look at the collection that people are starting to amass. Like, it's
Dude,
so
what a great
cool.
curation. And Phil himself, everybody in the community makes jokes about how many Phil Tippett signatures there are.
Yeah,
But
there's
you
a
have to
ton.
understand, this guy, I
He's
mean, I remember listening to him talk about some stuff and him saying how he felt a bit green and not ready to
mm,
sort of take on certain roles. But to get things, down and get things right, for the Tauntaun, for example, he was studying certain animals for this piece, for example, studying certain looks and movements
mhm,
of prehistoric animals and things like that. So like it
yeah,
wasn't just this idea and like let me try to get it as close as possible. He used his own level of reference to
mhm,
real world
yeah,
species, and that's fantastic. And you're getting sort of that invite into somebody's imagination, that sort of walk through inside somebody's mind.
yeah. It's
And,
cool.
all jokes aside about the, copious amounts of signatures that Phil's done, it's also a testament to how much amazing work he's put out there.
Well, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's yeah, the guy's done a ton of stuff. It's fantastic. Honestly, this I also really like. I really like that his artwork is a little bit different than the other pieces he's
Yeah,
done,
he's changing it up. He's adding a little
which is
color,
cool.
adding a little bit more style. I like it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I love that he did that the tan and
Yes.
the bluish green color that the Ephant Mon is both of those things, and so it just matches so well. It's really
And the
neat.
fact that he's using like that Copic style marker, it
Mhm.
also gives, when you look at the old production artwork
Yeah.
from Nemo and Joe and
Mhm.
Ralph, like it's got that style when they're
Yeah.
sketching something out real quick and doing that quick study to be like, all right, here's a couple references of a drawing. This is how we're gonna base it
Yeah,
off
it's
of.
cool.
You're getting that feel and that vibe, which I think is a yeah, a good direction for sure. Yeah, it
Yes,
blends well, man. It's again,
it's
what
great.
what there's nothing bad you can say. These are beautiful pieces. They're works of art every time.
These fit in right with this piece perfectly, and, the piece looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at the wiry hair coming down,
Yeah.
coming out from the cloak, and the cloak is just all tattered and weathered and wrinkled and stitched, and all the detail.
And,
Look at all the
and
details in the forehead and like in the
And
snout.
we
It's just
we
crazy.
know we know they're being done, by hand in studio, but they're also being done by people who have such a passion and love for this. So
It's crazy.
when you have somebody behind it that loves it just as much as you do, they're not like, all right, I get 20 more of these to paint. Let's get them,
Mm,
they're going in and catching every detail.
yeah,
They're pulling up in the light, they're looking at, and they're going to that creative space that all creatives go into where like, you know, is it finished yet? Could I have done better? Should I add more? Should I, you kind of get stuck when like, how do you know when done is done, right?
right.
Um, so you're getting that same level of passion and overall love that, the person who's assembling, painting, and putting this together is has just as much feel for it as you do. So that's again that it's just an overall perfect package, perfect recipe. The thing that's going to be difficult about this piece, sometimes I see some of these maquettes, and we mentioned you can go to the website. Not all of them are sold out. The legacies, yes, but there's some signature editions you can still grab. But there's always new collectors coming into the game.
Yeah,
And I see people being like, "Oh, this piece has been up for whatever," and all of a sudden they're just gone. They're wiped out. They're gone. You
yeah,
can't
yeah,
find them anywhere. All of a sudden you're paying 3x. It is, and it happens every day, right? Then you got people who aren't coming into collecting for another 2, 3, 4 years. They're gonna learn about this stuff. You ain't getting it.
yeah. I mean, secondhand. It's gonna honestly.
Oh,
We talked about this. This is one of those ones where it's already priced well enough that secondhand. I think it'll be a little higher secondhand, but it's already priced high enough that. Do you think this will go up a lot secondhand?
I
Like,
did this one.
you think this
Yeah,
one will be?
it's hard because you always, not you specifically, but we discuss sometimes like, yeah, this piece is only this, so how could it sell for that?
Yeah,
And we're seeing $400 pieces sell for 2,000. Then you're like, well, if this piece is 14, 1,500, there's no way it's going to go for that much more. And then all of a sudden it's going for 5 grand. Like
yeah,
there's just certain pieces that we know that there's pieces that collectors are going to get because of the hype.
right.
There's pieces that collectors are going to get because of the fear of missing out. But then there's pieces that people just want. And the problem with that is when they buy them, they're just holding on to them.
Sure.
Unless there's an extenuating circumstance, because look,
Mm,
everybody uses their collection to pay for their collection. It's part of collecting.
right.
But there's just some pieces that when you buy them, you hold on to them. And the thing with the maquettes is I think they've dialed in so well, and I know we're going all along on this one, and we usually do, but it's important. I think they've dialed in so well at this point
Yeah.
and sort of fine-tuned the whole process that those now collecting them or that have been there from the start,
Mm,
I don't think those people aren't willing to part with or release these things. And he didn't make 500. I should say. It's not like they made 500.
right.
They're small amounts. All the legacies are, they're small runs. So 9 out of 10 people that buy them are keeping them. And the
Yeah.
few that are exchanging hands,
Yeah.
once they exchange hands, that's it. The person who buys it is now keeping it.
Yeah.
So it's just hard. I mean,
This
look,
is
you
on
could,
to me, this piece is you're right. This piece feels different to me. Like
yeah,
this feels like it's a small version of a piece like Salacious or a
yeah,
piece like, it's a smaller feeling version of that, but it does feel like something that is a little more than just a maquette because
yeah.
of the size and because of all the stuff that all the hair, uh the soft goods, all that stuff. Like it does feel like it's something more than just another maquette, right? It feels like a bigger piece to me. And so you might be right. You might be right that it's something that people are gonna.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a hard one to come by. I think people are
Yeah.
going
Do
to
you think
be
do you think that
backtracked.
do you think the 83 will sell out right away?
I don't think they'll sell it right away, but I think
Signature?
they're going to do better than people expect. Only because I think, as you mentioned, this particular character is popular. The way he was executed was so
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
I think that people who are always trying for the legacy for a number of reasons, to the continuity of the collection, the fact that they're getting the artwork, the signature, etc. A lot of people are going to be like, "Hey, I'm still getting the signature, and most importantly, I'm getting the maquette that I want." So I think they're going to do very well.
Yeah.
I know Yism was sort of like a record sellout for
It's a
like
fur,
modern.
man.
Yeah.
I like the
I
fur.
think this is gonna match that.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens. I mean, I'm excited to see it. I mean, it's going up. It goes up so
Tuesday at
Tuesday,
noon.
which should be the day that we put this up. So
Yeah. So when
um,
this gets it's pre-recorded, but when this lands, it'll be the same day that the Maquette goes up for sale at noon. Yeah.
yeah. So
Eastern
we'll
time.
see.
Eastern time.
Yeah. What time? What times it come out Eastern time?
Noon Eastern.
Noon
I'll
Eastern.
just
Okay.
double check that right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to man. I'm excited to see how it does because there's no question the 40 what 45 the legacies
45 for
they're
Legacy
gone.
and
You can already consider those gone.
yeah.
But it's gonna be fascinating to see what happens with the 83. Like, will enough people at that price be wanting to pick this up, or if is this going to be another maquette that has a few, 10, 15 sitting around for a little while, which I don't think Tom minds that. I think
No,
he
that's
likes having
sometimes
things
good
available.
because for those that are missing out on things, it gives them a chance to acquire
Right.
something with
Right.
this company and signature, et cetera. Yeah, it's not always great to have everything sell out immediately. That's
No.
not a
Right.
good, technically it sounds like a great business model, but it's not always good.
Yeah.
You want some offerings. There's nothing worse than,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been that collector where I found something new or stumbled across something and you're like, hey, where'd you get that? Or what's this? Oh, go to www dot such and such. You go to that website and you're like, I can't buy anything. It's all
Yeah.
sold out. So yeah, it's good to have. And again, I think that's by design. They've dialed in. They know what they're doing. It's a smart approach, smart execution. So yeah, we'll see Tuesday afternoon. It'll be exciting to see some of the banter and some of the discussions and
Yeah.
talk on board and the people excited that grabbed it. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah. It's cool. Well, I do want to say congrats to Rob, Tom, Regal
The
Robot,
whole team, yeah.
the whole team there. Just another fantastic piece. And I know they put a lot of work ahead of time because I know that I think if you pay this off, like if you pay for the full thing, I believe they ship fairly quickly
Fairly quickly.
from what I
Look,
understand. Like they have a lot
and
done.
this isn't a jab, but for a licensed company,
Yeah,
aside from Maquettes or anything they make, the reliability
I
that
know.
the level of reliability that they have with
I know.
time, delivery, turnaround, ETA, and again, this stuff's in house. I mean, I've been there a few times. It's not like
Yeah, it's not
these
huge.
guys are
Yeah.
the, they got time constraints, space constraints, and none of that limits them. It doesn't
Yeah.
stop them. It's such a well-oiled
Impressive.
machine at this point, man. It's yeah.
Well, and
The fact
they
that you
also
can take something off and have it a couple weeks later,
they also have Yuzums still sitting around because people like me put it on on a payment plan, a shitty little payment plan that we're
yeah.
like, sorry, can't
And
pay
then
it
they
off.
try to get launched, they're tripping over boxes
Yeah,
and
and
yeah.
so they have to have these things sitting around until you pay them off. So like, yeah, they have to deal with all this like space, problems, and I don't know. I think it's fairly impressive what they've done over there, and to be able to have these done already that they can send some out is pretty cool. So
It's
anyway,
just a good incentive because there are people who are just gonna pay it off,
yeah,
whether they were getting it soon or not.
yeah.
So it's just nice to know that, like, hey, in a week or two, give or
Yeah,
take.
you'll start seeing them. It's pretty neat. And just so everyone knows, we are going to try to have Tom on for the unboxing. We'll see what his
Yeah,
schedule's like. Um, yeah,
he's
yeah,
busy,
we're
so
hoping.
it's tough, but if we can,
Yeah, we're
because
hoping.
we had a great time last time with Yism. So yeah,
Yeah.
if we can do it again with this, because
If for some reason it doesn't work out with Tom, we'll still unbox it,
still doing
and
unboxing.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll still make it work out. So cool. I think
Yeah.
that's it. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. See
Thank
you in the
you.
next one.